Okay, so it will be towards... Yeah, I have to turn right, is it? Oh, okay, I think I found it already. Yeah, it's Duxton Road. Yeah. It's okay, yeah, thanks. I'll see you soon. Yeah, bye. Duxton Road is over here. I can't even see from here. There's no sign, nothing. There's only one Duxton Road over here. Okay, this way, this way. So we're finally here at James' office. It's a very, very long walk. Actually, we walked around in circles. As you can see, we are lost, so I think we have to head away. So we were not really lost. We just walked away from where we were. So anyway, we are here at his office. So we're going to move in, and we're going to look for James. So now we're waiting for James in this very nice office. So he's actually upstairs. We're waiting for him to come down. There he is.
Hello! Good to have you all.
Hey, thanks.
Good, you found a place.
Yeah, I feel like all over the place. Yep. So James, thanks for accepting our interview. James, tell us more about how the Dream Trips came about.
How did the Dream Trip come about? It was obviously in year 2000 when we first started. I've never thought about dream trips or mission trips at all at that point in time until one day Pastor brought it up and said, why don't we bring all our youth on a mission trip? The first thing that came to our mind is bring a lot of people, right? How to go? And it's not usually done. But the good thing is, because we've never run it before, we've never spoken to other youth pastors or youth groups about it. We never really knew what to do. But that was a good thing because it never limited our abilities. So on our very first trip, I know I'm jumping a little bit forward. On our very first trip, I think we already brought 20 over people on the first Dream Trip, which as we planned along, it didn't seem like much of a difficulty at all. But subsequently, when we shared with other pastors and youth groups that we brought almost our whole youth along, and was 20 over people, all of them were very surprised that did you manage to bring so many people along? So that was amazing, and that was how it all started. It started with pastor wanting to stretch our youth, wanting to stretch our people to see what's out there and what else they can do with their lives. So yeah, I think that's how it started.
We used to have youth camps, and it was a lot of fun interacting with other youths. Why do we do away with them and have Dream Trips instead?
Youth camps are always good, fantastic. Youth camps are great places to renew relationships, make friends with other people that you've never really known before, and to get even closer to those who you know on a regular Sunday. But youth camps are good to the extent that it tends to be inward looking, very inward looking, how to build us up, how to build the youth group up, which is a good thing. But always remember that at the end of the day, I think the heartbeat of God is always for us to be reaching out to others, reaching out to the world. And therefore, as a youth group, as a youth ministry, we always have to be reaching out. And as we try to do that in our various activities in Singapore, I think the thing that always culminates and which is most exciting is our Dream Trip. When you go out there, reaching out to people out there of a different culture, of a different country, immersing yourself in a totally new environment, and yet being able to touch lives, sometimes in small ways, but you never know. A lot of these small ways are actually the start of many big things to come. And as you reach out and you touch people in that way, you feel that full cycle of what you're supposed to do for God. And I think I won't speak for other youths, but even for myself, having gone through quite a number of these youth dream trips, I never get tired of it. And it's so much excitement, there's so much fulfillment in it. So I think rather than just youth camps, which are good, if possible we should still try to have them. But dream trips always bring out that fulfillment in you at the end of the day.
Tell us of the challenges faced with Banting, which was the first of many dream trips that we had.
Challenges faced with Banting. Firstly, at that point in time, most of the youths were a lot younger. So we first need to assure the parents that nothing's going to happen to your children when we bring them on a dream trip. And secondly, because it was a budget trip, we could not afford like Ritz-Carlton accommodation or whatever. We really had to be staying there, bare bones and all that. The good thing is Pastor and I made a recce trip up to Banting. And did we? I think we did. It's a long time ago, so I cannot remember fully. And as I recall, it was good enough. It was good enough. I mean, the basics were there. It was good enough. We were a bit concerned whether the youth could get used to the accommodation and the toilets in particular, the bathing areas and all that, because we know life in Singapore is very good. So it was really all these smaller things that we were concerned about, parents, whether the youth could get used to it or not. Those were the main concerns really. And the journey up there was a little bit long, but that was not too big of a problem because we could pack everybody into a single coach. So the obstacles were really the smaller practical things that pertain to the youth, and we don't know whether they could get used to it or will they be falling sick and all that. But all in all, I think things turned out pretty well. I think they all enjoyed themselves. If opportunity arises, I will share with you all the exciting stories that involve sausages,
Yes.
Luncheon, cans of luncheon meat being rolled around, and apparently dancing lights or ghosts at night. So yeah, it was the smaller things that were not too consequential at the end of the day.
How do you prepare the youth each year for dream trips?
Preparation of youth has evolved over the years. I think when we first started out, again because it was a younger crowd, it was really more to prepare themselves mentally and physically for the changes. We didn't focus too much on the spiritual aspects, so to speak, because we prepared them to do certain presentations like drastics, if you remember, you've seen that. So their main focus was really to perform, so to speak, and the spiritual parts were taken care of by Pastor when he preached and when he prayed for people and all that. So initial years preparation were a little bit easier. Just get your performance right and you're okay. But as the years went by, as the youths begin to grow older and younger youths came up, the preparations obviously evolved. So now we've got to prepare the older youths to take care of the younger youths, how to mentor them, so to speak. But at the same time, be ready to minister to the youths within themselves. Also, when opportunities arise, to minister to the people that we're visiting, whether it's the local churches in Malaysia or the orphans or the staff up in Thailand where we visit. So those preparations have evolved, and therefore we then had to move into preparing not just the mind and the body for a new experience, but also the soul, to be ready to face any challenges that might come along the way. Which is why, as we went along, I think somehow we coined this term, that be ready to say yes. Just say yes to anything that happens, and not just physically affecting you, but when you're asked to rise up to a challenge, to pray for somebody, to minister to somebody, just be ready to say yes, because in that moment God will use you mightily. And that was the kind of preparation that evolved along the way.